Hello and welcome to another SQL tutorial. In last video we created a user, making sure that the user can be an object owner rather than just a database user. However, creating a user with create user statement and assigning a table space with disk space quota will not be sufficient enough for the user to connect to the database or create objects. A user need to have necessary authority or permission even to connect to the instance, and then also other permissions to create objects like tables, views, synonyms, etc. Such permissions are known as privileges in Oracle. When you install Oracle, the installer package creates a number of users. One of these users is system, and we have created a connection using user system. The name of the connection represents the name of the user as well in this case, and we have stored our username and password in the connection. So when we double click it, it simply connects to the database, connects to the instance of the database. If you notice, this plus sign was not there before. This plus sign means the connection is connected to the instance. And then we used a select statement, select star or asterisk from dba underscore users. I'm pressing control button on my keyboard and then pressing enter. That is one way to run the query. And then we have a user called Angel that was not there before. We created this user, and this user Timon was created even before that. So what I'll do, I'll connect to the database with as user Angel and as user Timon. So we'll create three connections. We'll simply click this plus sign, and this connection I want Timon. The username is Timon and the password is, I'll provide the password. I'll save the password. I'll test the connection success, and I'll connect it. I'll save it and I'll connect it as well. So we have got two users connected to the instance. We'll create another connection, and if you remember, the user Angel did not have any privileges, so it failed to connect. I'll show you that again. I'll say Angel user, and the username was Angel and the password was wings, and I'll try to connect it again. It should say Angel lacks the connection, create session privilege or logon denied. So we'll go to the system user once again, and we'll grant this user at least one privilege, the permission to connect to the database, and the command is grant create session to Angel. How simple is that? I'll press control once again and I'll press enter, and the grant succeeded. So it means that the user Angel is now able to connect to the database. We'll try that once again. The name of the connection is Angel, the username is Angel, and the password is wings. We'll test the connection, and connection is successful. We'll save the password and we will connect. We'll save the connection and we'll connect to the database. At the moment we have 1, 2, 3 connections to the database. So back to privileges. Oracle database has two types of privileges, classified as system privileges and object privileges. Some expert describe role privileges as a third type, and we'll discuss that later. Right now we'll just pay attention to the system privileges, so our user, the new user Angel, can start creating objects and we can continue to learn SQL. The focus is on SQL. Unlike object privileges that can be granted by the schema owner, by the user, the object privileges can be granted by the user. A system privilege is granted by a database administrator usually, although database administrator, DBA, which is the short name for database administrator, can grant similar authority to any user. System privileges are the privileges that apply beyond a schema or an object level. These privileges are granted on database level, such as connecting to the database, connecting to the instance in order to use database, or create user, or I can say create a schema in Oracle database. The user and the schema are the same things in Oracle environment. Oracle 10G nearly has 170 system privileges. Oracle 11G, which we are using right now, has more than 200 privileges, and you can see all these privileges. We are connected. Let me show you how to see the privileges. Let me enter another select statement. I'll say select name. So this is the name of the column in a view, name, and I'll say from system underscore privilege, and here we have it. So I'll select this, and this time I'll simply click this icon here. So these are the system privileges in the system in Oracle 11G. There are 208 system privileges that can be granted to a user or to a role. You can also find out what system privileges have been granted to you as a user. Say for example, we want to go to user Angel, and the user Angel wants to see what privileges he has. So the statement would be select asterisk from user underscore sys underscore privs, and I'll press Control and enter, and user Angel has just one system privilege, and that is create a session. And the user still cannot create objects because Angel does not have any permission to create objects. We'll go to Timon now, and we'll copy this. This is select statement, and we'll go to Timon to see what privileges Timon has. And user Timon has a number of privileges, system privileges. 15 system privileges have been granted to user Timon. Now it's time for us to learn how to grant more system privileges to user Angel. We have to go to user system, because the user system has a DBA role, database administrator role, and the system privileges can be granted to a user with the help of a DBA role, or the user who has the DBA role can grant the system privileges. So there are several ways you can grant a privilege. We learned that we can grant one privilege this way. You can also grant several privileges. Create session, for example, create session, comma, you can describe the other privilege. Create view, for example, you can say create synonym, comma, and what else, select any table, and that's all for now. Okay, so we want to grant 1 2 3 4 privileges, 4 system privileges to user Angel, and I'll tell you what any means in a minute. So we can say grant create session, create view, create synonym, and select any table to user Angel. I'll press Control Enter, and the grant succeeded. It means the user Angel can create a session, can create a view, can create a synonym, and can select any table. We forgot to grant him another important privilege, to create a table. Create table. So that should do for now. So user Angel, if we run this statement again, this one, select star from user underscore sys underscore privilege, the user Angel had just one privilege, and we'll run this again. and user Angel now has 1 2 3 4 5 privileges, 5 system privileges. Before I go, the select any table privilege, it means the user does not only has the ability to use a select statement on his own table, but also on any table that is created within the database under any user. When a privilege is granted with any option to a user, then the user is given access to that type of object in all schemas, including sys schema.